Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one is going to be on Theory all day. So Theory is the weekend showdown contest superstar, and he is a trickster, an aggressive trickster, modern era. He's got the raw link, and any color moves start with one more move point. Modern era, gems do 5% more damage, and the stock all day gear. He is a coach. He's an upgraded leech gem coach. At 18k, leech gems do 100% more damage. So anyone that has a bunch of leech gems, it doesn't increase the strength of the leech gem itself. It increases the strength of the gem underneath it. So if your leech gems are on yellows, they're 100% increase to your yellow gem damage, etc. All right. I have quite a few movesets for you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different movesets. And they're all kind of different. So, well, mostly pretty different. And some of them are a little bit funky. I'll try to go into them. The strap I'm going to use, nothing too crazy as far as the strap itself. I got double armor on, which is going to be a negative in some of these, but well, not necessarily a negative, but not how I'd run some of these builds. I would go Fury. I don't have enough metal bits to switch back and forth a bunch, so I'm not going to do that. Instead of using my 200% purple move damage metal, I put a 99% on. I figured that's a little more realistic for most people. And I didn't have the currency to level it to 15 for the normal 133%. So there's that. I am using the taker plate for the first two build sets, as I think it's interesting to try to show that. Unfortunately, I won't be running Fury for those, and I would likely run Fury for those movesets. So there's that. Anyway, let's get started and take a look. We're going to start off with the standing drop kick. 7 MP blue, deal 80k damage and choose 5 gems to make into black gems. Brainbuster, 7 MP, deal 77k damage and choose 8 gems to make into trap gems. If broken by your opponent, steal 82k health. If broken by you, deal 0 damage and swap a 1x4 random area into blue gems. Of note, this trap move will recycle itself, so that's kind of cool. Sidewalk Slam, 7 MP black, deal 73k damage and deal 612,000 bleed damage to your opponent for 1 turn. That's a big bleed. Entourage for this one. So in Feud, you generate 3 extra special gems, assuming offensive perks. So normally you would need 2 MP trainers, or 1 MP and Santa Hogan here. So what I'm going to do is, Jinder is going to go on here. If you don't have 17k Santa Hogan in Feud, you'd have dual MP trainers, and you'd be choosing 11 trap gems. So that'll give you kind of a good idea of what it would look like in Feud, how many blues would go out, that kind of thing. If you have 17k Santa, then you could technically have 14 gems. You could go with a blue gem trainer, lots of different options, right? You could go with one of the bleed trainers. So that's the options there with the trainers here. You could also go with Kyrie here, but I think you'll see with what we're going for that the bleed isn't necessarily the be-all end-all here. Also, I do think this has the potential to be a boss battle build when there's a high bleed build, bonus rather, or when there's a blue shield to be broken, as the blue move will recycle itself and you can just keep putting the traps out and swiping and recycling itself. So I think that's worth noting. And as long as we're talking about boss battle, aggressive right now to me is probably the least cool of the breakers. I do think as we move into 6-star and beyond 6-star bronze, as health pools get bigger, 30% of the team's total missing health as additional damage could end up being significant. 4 people, 10 million health, you're at the end of it. So, you might have like 28 million health. And then you're dealing 30% of that. Probably never going to be amazing. So this is actually my least favorite of all of the classes, or styles rather, of them. So I don't particularly love aggressive, but you need some of those styles anyway, right? Anyway, let's get out here and take a look. And like I said, I'm not running double Fury here, so don't expect the gem damage to blow you away, leaving a lot of gem damage on the table here. I do have double armor, so keep that in mind. Alright, so what I found in practicing this is if you break more than 3 trap gems, you pretty much waste it. So what I like to do is put a column in, or a row in the middle here, and that way any 4 in any spot will hit at least one of those. And then I like to do three at the top, and then generally I plop one somewhere down on the second row, just to maybe get a later cascade. Now, because we have the taker plate, we'll see if this cooperates. I already did something I didn't want to do. No surprise. So, how am I going to make it? Well, we're only going to break 2. We'll just do it that way. And we're going to do this. So I'm going to make a 3 break of black. Okay, that didn't go well. I was going to make a 3 break of black, get the taker plate to go off, hit the bleed, and then swipe and get the traps to go off. So, you know, that was the idea there. But you can see it refilled the moves pretty easily. Now I have lots of stuff on the board. We got the bleed out, and I can kind of go back to what I was doing just with more traps. I'll just run this one more time without so much talking, as it won't take long. 3, finish these guys here. And let's put some along the bottom now, this row, I guess. Sure. We got lots of stuff. We got stuff everywhere. Yes, I could put 3 and get more cross breaks. I probably should, but you're gonna see, we're not gonna have any problems blowing lots of the board up here, like so, because we had lot of trap gems out. You can see, like I said, it's not gonna blow you away damage-wise because I'm not running Fury, but it is interesting, and I do think you could do a lot in boss battle with this, with blue, and Fury potentially in bleed. Maybe mess around with the trainers, coaches, etc. I'm gonna just cover this up and put them on this row again, because this will basically show exactly what I was talking about. Turn 1. This is essentially what I was going for turn 1 when I did not perform adequately. You do this, set up your 3 break your 3, taker plate goes off, and blows that. Sure, I give up. It's fine. I think you get the general idea of what's happening there. Okay, enough of that. This is really interesting, and this can actually hit really hard even with armor, this build set. So this one, I think I would actually run double armor. And I have the taker plate on, so that's what's there, but also you might think about the smoke plate to help recycle the purple with this one. This one is straight up a 17k Santa build, I guess, if you want to mess around. It's just kind of weird, but kind of cool, and I don't know how it'll grow at 6-star, so I found it kind of interesting, so I put it in here anyway, even if it does require a 17k Santa, just because the traps are kind of fun. So we're moving in the fall away slam, 7 MP purple, deal 78k damage and make 21 random gems into trap gems, broken by your opponent, deal 0 damage, and deal 38k bleed to your opponent for 1 turn. Now, in the blog, this is at 120k, so maybe that goes up, I don't know, because it's when your opponent breaks it, so it's not like, you know, you're breaking all of them, so it's not like crazy OP. If broken by you, deal 41k damage. That's the flat damage that we're interested in. And increase your black MP by 3. And then because of this, going to go dual MP trainer. And again, this is assuming Santa Hogan, or you do this on turn 2, or you have a line bonus, right? I just put it in because it's a little bit different. So don't think I'm going all crazy whaley trainers all the time now, etc. I'm not. I just thought it was kind of interesting, so. Also, I do not have Steamboat. And he would be a great coach. Acrobat Steamboat adds an extra trap gem for plenty of these builds, so keep that in mind. Steamboat is definitely a great coach for him in his multiple various build sets, so definitely keep that in mind. So we're going to throw these 21 random trappies out, and then we're going to do the same thing we did previously. But we don't have Jinder, so we're going to put 5 in the middle and 3 on top. We do still have the taker plate, so we're going to try and take advantage of that this time, hopefully much more accurately, or better. That's a row break there. Let's just stay away from that, just for fun. Let's do that. Okay. Gotta remember which traps are what in this one. Alright. Just because I want to get the taker plate to go off. There. Okay. Now we are loaded up, and all of these trap gems, if we can get rid of most of them, is going to deal a lot of damage with the armor. So let's let the slot machine go to work. And the reason you don't put more trap gems out at the start is essentially they can go to waste. This is weird how it blows up the board though. I don't like this. I don't know why it does it this way, other than it's trying to add the MP. But so there's the gem damage. But look at the overall damage, 1.6 million. That's with double armor. And that really shocked me how hard this one can hit with double armor. I did not think it would hit that hard. So, and again, that's no Steamboat or any of that stuff. And in Feud, you would have more trap gems on the board to blow up and do more damage, right? So I think that one's really interesting. Weird, but interesting. Oh, I had my sidebar up. Oh, well. I don't care. It's a little bit ugly for a few seconds, whatever. You got to see the crazy cascades on the first turn with me not doing what I wanted to, and this one, you got to see how much damage that setup can do. It's really funky, but I thought it was cool, so that's why it's in there. All right, back to more, I guess, normal stuff-ish, sort of, question mark? I don't know. So we're going to keep the purple trap in, but we're going to move in a couple new moves. We are going to bring in the stun gun, which is a very low charge choose. So works great to load stuff. We're still going to keep the fall away slam. And then we're going to bring the finisher in. The ATL, 10 MP purple finisher. Deal 110k damage and choose a 4x4 area to swap into black gems. Fall away slam, you guys know what that does. Stun gun, 6 MP black. Deal 80k damage and choose 4 gems to make into purple gems. So Entourage, as you might expect, is going to be Striker Woods for black MP. So that gets the choose right away. And for this one, I'm going to have Honky Tonk Man on because he's less rare. Well, pretty much I think everyone has him. And we're going double armor. So double armor Honky Tonk Man. You could absolutely use Acro Doink for purple finisher, hits harder. If you had him, I think you could go that route for sure. You do not need Santa Hogan's MP. He's just on there for the flat gem damage to the black gems and anything else we break. So you do not need the extra MP. And then for some more purple move damage, because I don't have a big metal and stuff, Hall of Fame Trish adds, I got her where she's doing 20% more purple move damage. Nothing crazy. It's adding like 30k here, just to try and help keep the opponent down. So you guys saw the trap gems and the damage, the base damage they did and stuff. That's kind of the goal there when we break them, is to just do that base damage along with the finisher. So same sort of principle. This one's easy to load. Taker plate won't be doing anything for us here unless we get to like a turn 2. So it's not really of note at all. This does recycle perfectly. 2-3 matches will more than do it in feud for you. And you throw your traps out. And then you want to put the finisher in a section that can catch as many traps as possible. Again, the extra traps in feud would be quite nice. This 4x4 area right in here is pretty well loaded. Sadly, this is all missing, or we could catch those too, but I think that's going to be the most bang for our buck, as it were. So you can see we ended up hitting 1 million. And now the bleeds are going off when they break him. And he doesn't kick out. So, again, I don't have woods. And I did hear some people say woods wasn't working on the trap bleeds. You obviously could use woods if you had him when they get that fixed, if indeed that gets fixed soon. You could use woodsy there. Bunch of different ways you could go. Again, Steamboat would still potentially be an option with so many traps out and that sort of thing, and adding an extra trap. So yeah, I do kind of like that moveset. Moving right along to the bleed finisher, as it were. We're going to bring the sidewalk slam back. And all of these moves you guys have seen. And then I'm going to load up on some bleed stuff here so you guys can see where the bleed goes. Again, these trainers, you can substitute them, mix and match what works. Seth, 66%. If you had Razor, he's 50% and black move damage. Again, Woods would add another 50% to this bleed. And then Kyrie. So this bleed, if we add another 50% to the base, would be, let me see, if I had Woods, another 306k to the bleed. So we'd be doing almost like 1.5 million bleed damage there with that bleed. So quite nice, right? Quite nice. Let me... And obviously that would replace Santa. Now, if you don't have Santa, you have to clip a black gem with the choose. So you may instead of Santa put like Hall of Fame Eddie in, so you can choose 2 more gems. Might make your life easier on the choose. Also in feud, you're choosing 5. You're choosing an extra because you need a row break to clip 1 black. And then in that row break, you want to clip, I think it's 2, maybe 2 purples extra. So your bleed wouldn't be loaded, you'd be 1 short unless you have 17k Santa. So you want to clip a black, and so we get the black there, and then get an extra purple here, except that'll cascade there, so we're not doing that. Okay, where are we going here? I guess that'll work, right? Ish. It's not exactly what I want at all. And then in feud, you know, you could, if you need the purples, you could do that. to get the finisher loaded, put them in the same row. This isn't like super cooperating here because of these, but so, I mean, you know, I'm making wild cards and stuff, so, we'll just do this for now. And pop the bleed. It's gonna do 1,000,000 for us. Also bleed line bonuses and stuff, right? You can see the finisher is not huge. That's the one downside. So the bleed, they're gonna have one chance to kick out and take a bunch of pin bar off, right? So that's why I feud the finish bonus would help, and things like that. 500k and then the 1,000,000 bleed. That's why the armor build potentially keep people down. So that one's okay too, right? Like, I mean, like, but the best one is definitely last here. He's got a really easy to do super sub. Really easy to do. So you could put the bleed in and clip one and mess around with that, or if you have Santa Hogan, whatever. I think the traps and the sub is just easier. And also because Zombie Brock adds more damage. Here, let's not get ahead of myself. Adds more damage. You could also run like a triple purple sort of thing if you wanted to too. I don't think it's as effective, so I didn't do that for a build, but you absolutely could use, you know, 2 MP trainers and go triple purple if you wanted to do that sort of thing. But we're going to bring in maybe you guys haven't seen the sleeper hold. 8 MP purple submission, place 7 sub gems and do 101k damage for 5 turns. Very simple. Gems don't do anything crazy or spicy. It's just a plain old fashioned 5-turn sub for 100k damage. However, because we can load it quite cheaply with the stun gun, that means we can completely go super sub. And this will do 4.7 million in feud with defensive perks maxed, making 2-3 matches. So that does assume you have all of the sub coaches as well. But he does have a very nice super sub build. And it's not very prone to cascades. So it makes him what I would say against 5-star golds. This isn't 6-star bronzes now. There's not a lot of those in the wild. Against 5-star golds, I do think it makes him the most consistent feuding trickster. He's going to deal 4.7 million damage turn 1, plus all of the traps that get broken. So you're probably looking well over, you know, probably closer to 5 mil by the time damage is done, traps and stuff like that. So we're gonna do this, and okay, we'll just whatever, we'll do it like that. 3 and 3. Taker plate does nothing here, obviously, right? You could throw Escape Artist. Also, you could do Bad Attitude just to give you some more options to reload the black. So the trap gems, if we break them, give us black. So that's assuming some traps are left. You can load them, but if in case the traps disappear, you know, you can do that. We happen to cascade into one, so that's why the Bad Attitude. Escape Artist, I think the reason would be clear why we would run that. And you don't want to cover your traps at all, because they can do damage. Usually I just like going 4-corner in feud, and a lot of times if I was feuding fast, I probably wouldn't even bother choosing all of them. I just choose kind of 4 corners and call it good. You're gonna see we're gonna get a bunch of extra damage out of the traps. And even outside of feud, we got him down to 2.1 million there. I think we did like 2 mil damage. So if we wouldn't have cascaded that, it would be looking a little rough for Black MP. because we wouldn't be able to break any of the traps that are left. But that's why the bad attitude would potentially help. You'd take a blue swipe, get the 3 black MP, and help reload your stuff. So that's just another possible out sort of thing. But yeah. In 3 matches, it's a lot harder because we don't have the extra choose, because we're not in feud. And then this should finish it off. But yeah, the really simple, easy to use build set for the sub. So Theory's kind of interesting. Definitely continues the Trickster is currently my least favorite class in the game. I do think he will be the best feuding Trickster, and I do think he has some other interesting options. It'll be interesting to see as trainers get fixed and things affect those traps, what these bleeds start looking like, and then also if this bleed on these is 120k, it makes this sub bleed combo extremely dangerous, right? Because instead of what, 30-40k on those, it's 120, and then in conjunction with a coach, it would be better than a sub coach potentially. Anyway, guys, it's late. I tried to try a bunch of different stuff with him. I'm sure there's a lot more on the table because there's so many different traps and moves and things you can do. I do apologize I didn't have double fury on for the first one. You guys know I typically don't change metals mid preview, and I just am short on metal bits right now because I leveled up a bunch of metals. But I think you kind of get the idea. This moveset is surprisingly good, and it doesn't really rely on fury. So I would actually run it double armor, just because you're busting those all of those trap gems on there and dealing that base damage there. So way more interesting than I thought it would be when I looked at it on paper. And then of course you just have your standard simple super sub that, you know, most characters seem to have these days. So let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, as that really helps me out. And other than that, guys, thank you for watching and have a great day. Good luck out there.